Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, ready. I'm dead.
No, it's my job to tell the dad jokes. Just kidding.
Uh,
Um, why couldn't any...
Proceeds to tell a dad joke. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, that was my cue. Why couldn't anyone play cards on the voyage to the Americas?
Why?
Because Columbus was standing on the deck.
I see.
How do boats say hello to one another?
They wave?
They wave. Why do you do that?
Because I'm smart.
Okay, one more. Why did the airplane get sent to his room?
Why did the airplane get sent to his room? Because he was high. Just kidding, I don't know why.
Bad altitude
Uh,
instead of attitude.
That's a good one, honey.
Thanks. Thank you to the internet for supplying me those jokes. So how's
Hi.
it going?
Good. It is Wednesday. Wow, I almost said Tuesday. It's Wednesday night that we're recording this. Getting ahead of the game rather than doing this on a Friday night.
Yes. Having to stress about not going to bed on time. It's fine. We're here.
It's fine. No, Myles and I have been talking about ways that we can kind of spruce things up a little bit with the podcast, because like we're having a good time, but we want to also see like some growth with it, and we're a little bit stagnant, so we're trying to just kind of prioritize it a little bit better than we have. So with that being said, you should be seeing a little bit more of us on social media, on TikTok and on Instagram and Facebook.
And share us with your friends.
Yeah, of course. I mean, shameless plug right there. Obviously, that's the whole thing, is us just plugging our podcast.
Yes, basically.
But yeah, so look forward to that. But I'm excited. I feel like some new things are coming. And along with that comes some new excitement.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Mr. Myles?
I do agree.
He's like, quit rambling and let me tell my story.
No, it's okay. Ramble all you want.
Do we have any new countries or states?
Queensland in Australia is now part of our
Oh.
Fam Damily.
Got 3 states in Australia now.
Woo.
We have 4 more to get, and then we've got the whole country. Just kidding.
We'll get him.
Awesome. Thank you guys everywhere for listening. We love ya.
Yeah. Do you have any news?
Well, I'm no. I'm not pregnant, if that's what you're asking.
No. It wasn't, but thank you for letting me know. We can fix that.
Moving on. Do you have any news?
I'm not pregnant either, so.
Oh, whew. That's a relief.
No, not really. I'm tired.
Yeah, I know.
School and work are draining me.
Yes. No, but you're a trooper. You're doing real good.
Thanks.
And the whole fam family is proud of you.
Thanks, everyone. All 20 of you. I'm just kidding.
Myles, do you have a story for me?
I do have a story for you.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, sure.
Christopher Columbus.
We'll find out.
Is it?
Oh, what happened to my note? Oh, there it is. Okay.
The look on your face.
Oh, there's a way to retrieve it. I just didn't want to. Anyway, what do you say? What was the guess?
Christopher Columbus.
We'll find out.
Am I right? I'm totally right.
All right. So on August 3rd, 1492.
Oh, yes. Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Well, yeah. A small fleet comprised of 3 ships, the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria, left the ports of Spain. They went by way of the Canary Islands, at which they spent about a month, then continued their journey towards the Bahamas.
Ooh.
I haven't here any guesses who it is yet, but you already guessed it, so we'll just skip that. So, yes, it's Christopher Columbus. Kind of. We'll get into it.
Kind of.
So, after another month and a complaining crew, they were getting closer to land.
Mm-hmm.
but they wouldn't reach land without experiencing some odd occurrences.
Oh. Interessante.
Columbus claimed to see, quote, a great flame of fire crashing into the sea. People nowadays, they believe it to be a meteor or something like that.
Oh.
But it gets weirder.
Oh.
He also claimed to see the stars move around in the sky. And another claim that he made was a strange light in the distance that moved up and down and would disperse each time someone went to go take a closer look at it.
Jesus, is that you? Sorry.
The strangest thing he saw, though, was a glowing object shoot out of the water towards the sky.
Huh.
And another thing that he wrote down as well was that in the same area that this was going on, his compass would behave erratically.
Okay, I have a theory. Like, I know that's not the point of this, but I have a theory.
No, please share.
I theorize that Christopher Columbus found the city of Atlantis. But the city of Atlantis was like, yo, we weren't supposed to be found out yet. Here, take this continent and claim this one instead. Thus, America.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We'll get to Atlantis in
What?
a while.
Wow, I wasn't actually expecting that. Keep going.
So, any guesses where he was at this point? Where he was?
Bermuda Triangle.
Ooh.
Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I am on it today.
You're on it today. So, it may be coincidence, but Columbus actually didn't pass through that region, the Bermuda Triangle region, during his other voyages. I looked up maps because there were like 4 that it was pulling up. The first one, it sees him like going towards Cuba and Puerto Rico and all those. It sees him go through the area of the Bermuda Triangle, but then like on his way from wherever he was it Cuba? I think it was Cuba down to Puerto Rico. Like he kind of goes around it.
Interesting.
And then the other voyages as well, they kind of, again, it could be coincidence and it could just have been how he planned his trip and everything, but like he doesn't go that way again.
I don't think I would either.
Right. So it is argued where the boundaries of it lie, but vaguely it's a triangle shape, hence Bermuda Triangle. And it covers, depending on who you ask, between 400,000 to like 1,000,000 and 150,000 square miles.
Oh, wow.
Of the
That's
sea.
very large.
It is very large. So for centuries, this geographical phenomenon has befuddled many a mind. I have weird notes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, are we surprised?
No.
Not at all.
And also being the host of many abnormal sightings and the suspect of several disappearances. So it's the Bermuda Triangle we're talking about.
Not Christopher Columbus?
Yeah, not Christopher Columbus.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It was just like a little segue into the topic for tonight.
Okay. You
Anyway.
tricked me.
I tricked you.
Interesting.
You made a guess earlier today, but I'm going to not tell everyone about that because I do want to cover that story.
Okay.
All right. So, in 1895, Joshua Slocum made history being the first man to sail solo around the world. Unsurprisingly, he was one of the best sailors in the world during his time. Then in 1909, he took his old rebuilt fishing boat, the Spray. That was the name of it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
And he left the east coast of the United States to head toward Grand Cayman for the winter, which is a little south of Cuba.
Okay.
After his departure, he was never heard from or seen again.
Fun.
He was later like officially declared dead like 15 years later, like 1924, but took him that long.
That's so depressing.
Yeah. Then in May 1910, the USS Cyclops launched. It was 542 feet long, and its beam was 65 feet.
What is it?
The USS Cyclops is a ship.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was obvious from the USS thing, but maybe not to some people.
You know, I was on a roll. I tumbled off.
There you go. You've already got your good stuff out of the way. I'm just kidding. So the ship was one of the 4 Proteus class colliers built, and allegedly the biggest ship in the US Navy at the time.
Okay.
Then in March 1918, the ship holding over 300 men and carrying more than 10,000 tons of manganese ore disappeared somewhere between Barbados and Chesapeake Bay.
Dun, dun, dun.
It was reported that the USS Cyclops never sent out a distress signal, despite having full capabilities to do so, and even after an extensive search was never found.
Even to this day?
Mm-hmm. In 1941, two of the Cyclops' sister ships went a very similar route, and both also disappeared, leaving no trace.
Like, at all. To this day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so creepy.
From what I could find, maybe there is, but from what I could find, no.
Oh my gosh.
No trace.
So bizarre.
So people eventually started seeing a connection between mysterious disappearances and this geographical area.
Huh.
Uh-huh. I didn't write this down, but, during that time, 1918 was also World War One. So a lot of people, one theory as why it disappeared was the Germans kind of hijacked it and stole it. And then, but, since then, they've asked German authorities and everything about it, and they decline every claim. So
interesting.
whether or not they did, we don't know. Maybe they're holding it a secret.
Maybe it was pirates.
Maybe it was pirates. Maybe it was Atlantis. We'll get into it.
It was totally Atlantis. It was aliens.
So December 1945, 5 Navy bombers, carrying a total of 14 men, took off from out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for a 3-hour training exercise. After the exercise was complete, they were to travel east for 67 miles, then north for 73 miles, then come back. But they didn't. Apparently, during the training, the leader of the squadron, who prior to this event had been flying in that same area for more than 6 months, reported to be having some issues with his compass and backup compass. So some radio facilities were requested to find the lost squadron, but none were successful until a distorted message came through from the leader of the squadron, calling to his men to ditch their aircrafts due to lack of fuel. And I searched for probably about an hour to see what this type of torpedo bomber, I guess what the miles per gallon on it was. I couldn't find anything. So I'm pretty sure they were smart enough to fill up before they went out on this journey.
Right, and it sounds like they were experienced, so they should probably know how much fuel they would need.
Exactly. But anyway, after this, they were able to determine that they were somewhere north of the Bahamas and east of Florida, so they sent out a search and rescue Mariner aircraft along with a 13-man crew. The crew reported that they were on their way, and that was the last time they heard from the aircraft or crew.
Oh,
the search and rescue one.
My gosh.
So there was a report later from a tanker off the coast of Florida that there was a visible explosion shortly after the aircraft took off, but no trace of the aircraft or any bodies were found despite an extremely extensive search with hundreds of ships and aircrafts searching thousands of square miles.
This is so creepy.
Naval officials state that the reason there was no evidence left behind was due to an intense stormy weather that destroyed it. And this story was what solidified the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. The story of the 5 bombers. They're like, okay, yeah, something's definitely going on with this.
Something is happening.
Yeah. Then in 1948, an American Airways 2-4 plane called Star Tiger was flying from England to Bermuda with 31 passengers, and it was captained by B.W. McMillan. They were never heard from again.
Oh my gosh. Just like that.
Just like that. The official accident report claims the plane had a faulty heater and unreliable compass. And they are led to believe that the captain chose to fly at a lower altitude to help increase the temperature. But doing that would also burn fuel faster, and it would leave less time for the captain to react to any kind of impending catastrophe.
Oh my gosh. So there's possibilities, but they never found the plane.
Nope. Never found the plane.
I don't like this.
Then almost exactly 1 year later, another 2-4 plane named Star Ariel. They were like sister planes, I guess.
Sure.
Left from Bermuda with 7 crew members and 13 passengers on their way to Jamaica. The beginning of the flight was going smoothly, and it looked like the rest of the ride would go smoothly too, until they reached their destination. However, the captain sent out a message that he was going to change his frequency, and that was the last anyone heard of him. After a search party went out and found nothing, British South American Airways stopped their production of the 2 to 4 planes.
Huh.
Yeah. It's kind of
Maybe
crazy.
they should just avoid Bermuda. Period.
We'll get to it. Where was I? Okay. Then in 1984, a plane was on its way from Fort Lauderdale to Bimini Island. Not even halfway there, the plane slowed down significantly, but there were no distress signals from the plane to give any reason for this, and then roughly a mile away from Bimini Island, a woman claimed to see a plane crash into the water, but no record has been found.
Mermaids.
Atlantis.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, something shiny. Let's stop. And then this big giant kraken like swoops them from the air and is like, you're mine now. Nom nom.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Num num. That's exactly the sound Kraken makes.
Nom nom.
Num num. Another story. In November 1978, a man named Irving Rivers took off from St. Croix, which is in the Virgin Islands, for a solo aircraft transportation. It was just like he was flying this one plane to be stationed at this one airport.
Okay.
So that's what his purpose was. So the conditions for the flight were ideal aside from a small shower on his route, so the radio tower operator suggested a slight detour to avoid it.
No.
Which he followed that advice. And upon approach to the airport he was going to, the controller, air traffic controller, saw the plane's red and green flight, so he knew it was lights. Red and green lights. So he knew he was on his way, he or she. And then, so at the same time, there was another plane that was taking off. So he was making sure that plane took off correctly. He turned back to look to see where the plane was. It was gone, completely off the radar. He couldn't see it, like with his eyes or with the radar at all.
Aliens.
Oh
my gosh, this is like stressing me out.
I just lost my place.
Well, don't do that.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought when you said that he was going to suggest a detour that he was suggesting it through Bermuda, like through the triangle. I mean.
Well, it was in Bermuda anyway.
Okay.
Like in that area.
Ugh.
So his route was pretty, unless he wanted to like go all the way around, but even then he would be kind of cutting through it.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's the last of the stories. There are a couple more
you didn't
out there.
Mention Amelia
Earhart?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't. She didn't come up on any of the stories, so.
Was she not a Bermuda Triangle disappearance?
I don't know.
I thought she was.
I actually read something recently that they found some remains on, I think it was a TikTok actually.
Like an island that was uninhabited or something like
yeah.
that? I think I saw that too.
Yeah, and the only inhabitants were these large crabs that would eat anything.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Oh.
Ew. Ah. Oh.
So basically I don't know, I'm probably going to quote it incorrectly, but I'm going to do my best to remember what it said. But it was, they found bone fragments of a body that was in kind of the general area of where they thought Amelia Earhart crashed.
Uh-huh.
So they took them, they measured them, and the measurements matched up almost identically to Amelia Earhart's. I don't know how they got her measurements, but sure. And then they were missing the skull. But apparently the island that they found the corpse near, the bones, the skeleton, was inhabited by these, what are they called?
I'm going to have nightmares. Oh my gosh.
It's some kind of crab, but they don't have like a preference on cuisine, to put it frankly. They'll eat anything. And so like, Amelia Earhart, she was bleeding likely, and they smelt that, and they come up at night and she had a fire and everything. They found remains of a fire. So
I'm gonna have nightmares. Oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Anyway, so that's pretty recent. I don't know how true it is, but you know, you can believe stuff on the internet, right?
Can you? No. Oh my gosh, getting eaten alive by
Yeah.
huge crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Blech.
But yeah,
Oh,
there
I'm
are
so
a
not
lot.
okay.
There are a lot more stories about this.
You know, my parents went on a cruise to Bermuda.
Mm-hmm.
I was so scared the whole time that they were just gonna get swallowed up by a giant kraken down to the city of Atlantis.
Yep. But hey, maybe they could have become like Atlanta citizens.
I don't think it was a good vacation for them because they were, you know, wanting to go and get out of snowy Wyoming and go out in the sun and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was downpouring the whole time.
That's rough.
All of their excursions got canceled, and
that would suck.
they had to just like tour the dinky little museums that were there. I think they still like made the most of it, you know, but
because it's not a huge island either. Bermuda's not a huge island.
Yeah. So, but nope, they came back. Unless those are not my parents. They're actually just aliens.
The aliens that are wearing your parents' skin. Gross. Anyway. So, some scholars believe that William Shakespeare's The Tempest was based on a real shipwreck that happened in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, okay.
There's no really claims besides the fact that it was, you know, the Tempest. It was stormy. Ships get lost.
Sure.
Not found again. But let's go into conspiracies about the Bermuda Triangle.
I've been doing that this whole time. Let's go. Let's go.
So, some popular conspiracies about the mystery behind the Bermuda Triangle.
Can I guess a few?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I kind of already have. Aliens. Atlantis. Pirates.
Pirates isn't on here, but it's possible.
The Illuminati. Just kidding. I don't know. Okay, that's kind of all I have. That is aliens and Atlantis.
So, methane gas.
What? Okay,
methane gas.
Explain.
Apparently, there are some methane spots underwater in that area, which could potentially cause ships to sink quickly and not leaving enough time to make a distress call.
That's really disturbing.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about the ocean.
Yeah, yes.
And, oh, by the way, we're going on a cruise in May.
In May. Not to Bermuda.
Thank goodness.
Wormholes and time warps is a popular one.
That was one that I was thinking of, was like time travel, but I couldn't like explain that in a way that would make sense. So
That's
time holes, that would make sense.
Yeah, like the space-time continuum, or the what do they call that? Yeah, like it's very weak there.
Yeah.
Space-time. Anyway, so wormholes and time warps. People believe that the vessels could have gone through a wormhole, which would explain why nothing is found after they disappeared. And that also got me thinking. I'm not buying into the conspiracies. I'm not saying this, but I'm saying, like, you know, Christopher Columbus saying he saw stars move, satellites. Just saying. But anyway,
I see where you're going.
Like I said, I'm not buying into it. I'm just saying that would make sense. Water spouts.
Okay, what
Do you know
is
what those
that?
are?
No.
Okay, they are like water tornadoes. Tornadoes in the ocean.
This is my literal worst nightmare.
Why do you think I chose it?
Oh my gosh. Do you just like to torture me?
Yes. So apparently water spouts aren't that uncommon in the Bermuda Triangle.
I thought, okay, I'm glad you specified in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes. So when these occur, water can be sucked up hundreds or thousands of feet in the air. Water can like...
That's so scary.
I felt like that's an exaggeration because that's really high.
Yeah, but it's the ocean.
But yeah, that would have to be very strong.
Yeah.
Anyway, also along with that one is like the huge waves, tidal waves and stuff like that. Because apparently out there as well, they get a lot of them. So like them mixed together.
That's why I don't think the water spouts is so outrageous. Because like the tides can be insane. And currents and stuff. Mother Nature is scary.
Oh, for sure. Especially in the ocean. Another theory or conspiracy is that there are holes in the planet's electromagnetic force, which would explain why compasses would act erratically.
But how would that explain them disappearing?
Exactly. I don't know. These are just
okay.
things.
Just
These are
partial.
people trying to explain why this happens.
I see.
So a couple of places like that exist, though, like the Gobi Desert, where like the electromagnetic field is completely out of whack.
Weird.
Yeah. Human error, which is pretty self-explanatory. People can get disoriented and confused, especially
because of the mermaids. Just kidding.
No, but apparently in that area, a lot of the islands from an aerial view look pretty similar. So like people can sometimes get lost, and if their compasses are out of whack, and they try to use lay of the land to navigate themselves, if they all look the same, how do you know?
Right. That's a interesting thought.
So one example, so the 5 bomber planes, people believe that, people believe that the leader of the squadron was hungover. But
Right.
I mean, like, they took off. I didn't write this in here at all or say it, but they took off like around 2 p.m. So like, if that guy is still suffering from a hangover at that time, being in the military too, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been hungover, so
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
like,
know how
that
it
could
works.
explain a portion of it, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't explain the rest of it,
Yes.
you know?
Some people say that there is no mystery at all, and that the accidents and those kind of accidents and disappearances happen all the time. And there isn't anything different about the ones that happen in the Bermuda Triangle.
Don't know. They can't say that because otherwise I'm going to get a refund and we're not going anywhere.
Okay. Another one you mentioned, Atlantis.
Yeah.
Charles Berlitz, he was a teacher and a paranormalist.
Okay.
He wrote a book about the Bermuda Triangle, and in it he laid claim that Atlantis was the cause of the shipwrecks and such, which people then piled onto with their own theories.
1000% believe that.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Did you this was another TikTok video that I saw, but and this has been one of those things that have been happening for a few years now, but like they believe that the city of Atlantis is somewhere off the coast of Africa or in Africa.
Really?
And there was one video that I saw where they took like a geographical spot, like Google Map picture kind of thing of the place in Northern Africa. I don't know what country it was in, but it had like rings around it, and then it laid like 3 separate rings on the outside of each other.
Interesting.
And like it looked, they took a picture from the what is it in? Is it the Odyssey? Is that the one it's in?
I think so. The Odyssey is the sea one.
Yeah, but they took a picture of how Homer described the city of Atlantis, and like it was a representation of how he described it. So a picture, and they put them side by side, and they look pretty similar.
Huh.
I'll have to look it up and show you.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, oh, I want to read that book. The other part of me is like, I will never go near that book ever in my entire life.
Fair. So yeah, that's a little bit about Atlantis. And then, of course, aliens.
Yes.
Aliens come and abduct people and take them out to space.
That one is interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, despite all of this, numerous ships and planes still travel every day through this region. I wrote every day in there twice. In fact, it's one of the heaviest traveled shipping lanes in the world.
People just want to see. They're like, am I going to disappear today? Guess not.
We can hope. Just kidding. And after a study from the World Wildlife Fund, they discovered it doesn't even rank in the top 10 most dangerous bodies of water for shipping.
Oh.
So there are even more dangerous ones out there.
I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, you will.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
I actually saw a video. This was on Facebook, but it was a recycled TikTok video. Where someone was traveling. I want to say it was near Alaska. But I guess it's like notorious for being really choppy waters, and they were on a cruise ship. And so they're like, okay, it's time to go through whatever pass this is. And the whole boat was like,
oh.
And everybody in the comments is like, why would you submit to that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you put yourself through that? But everyone, like, it's safe enough for them to go through. It's just really rocky.
Yeah.
I'm like, that would stress me out.
Make you
to
very
no
seasick.
end.
Quite seasick.
Yep.
Yeah. But I looked up an article about the Bermuda Triangle, like what we know and what we don't know about it.
Uh-huh.
And it has a whole list of things that we do know about it.
Okay.
And then 3 tiny little dot points about what isn't known. So, for example, what isn't known about the Bermuda Triangle is the exact number of ships and airplanes that have disappeared in the area.
Which doesn't make anyone feel good.
Sure. The most common estimate is about 50 ships and 20 airplanes. The wreckage of many ships and airplanes reported missing in the region has not been recovered. That haven't been recovered, rather. And then the third dot point is, it is not known whether disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle have been the result of human error or weather phenomena.
Or Atlantis.
Or Atlantis, we don't know about
Just
that.
kidding.
Yeah.
I think the strangest part is just the fact that, like, there's no trace of
Yes.
anything. Because, like, sure, it could be considered not one of the most dangerous places in the world, but the other places, I'm sure there's at least evidence of what went wrong.
Yeah,
and
probably
what happened
somewhere.
and where everyone went.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not okay.
Not to stress you out even further, but
You're about to. I can feel it. My blood pressure is getting high.
but there was a team of scientists. Well, there still is a team of scientists, and they're currently trying to explore more of the ocean. By the way, that 5% of the ocean being discovered, like only 5%, is no longer true. They've discovered about 10 to 15% of it now.
Okay, that's
People keep saying 5%, but anyway, that's beside the point.
That's still a really small number.
It is. But they went to the seafloor, and they found another layer beneath the seafloor.
Stop! I'm gonna cry.
Sorry.
I'm so uncomfortable. Like,
You're gonna
my
have
skin
nightmares.
is crawling right now. Ah!
That's as much as I'm going to say. But
Oh my gosh! Thank you. I'm the kind of person that if you were to even show me pictures of the seafloor, I just want to crawl out of my skin and die.
yeah.
Those are just pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my word!
Yeah. Do you want to see the video?
No,
It's pitch black.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. When Myles and I were first married, I was like, I want to watch a scary movie. And he's like, okay, what would scare you the most? And so we started scrolling through. And of course, 40 Feet Below is what it was like on Netflix or something.
Or 47 meters down.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I was crossing as above, so below
Yep.
in my head. Anyways,
Another scary movie.
just another scary movie. 47 meters down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I can handle this. I'm pretty sure I spent 90 minutes just staring at our wall because I could not actually handle it.
Yeah. That's crazy stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what other movie was horrible?
What other movie?
It was that one where, like, the town flooded and then their house filled up with alligators.
Oh, Kroll? Is that what it's called?
Probably. I don't know. That one still to this day, like, gives me the ick.
Towards the end, it was really cheesy.
Well, yeah.
You can swim faster than the alligators. No, you freaking can't.
Yeah, no. You're dead. You're dead.
Anyway, sorry to spoil it. For anyone who hasn't seen it and was planning on it. But I mean, it's been out for a couple of years already, so.
Yeah, I still think about it. Ugh. Okay. Is that the end of your story?
That's the end of the story, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
I enjoyed it.
It was fun researching.
I'm going to be on TikTok avoiding anything that has to do with the ocean just to clear my mind for the next 2 hours.
I'll send you some. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Again, I don't like giving my own opinions on things.
Yes, you do. Don't
Well,
lie.
not publicly. Not publicly. I love giving my opinions on stuff like when it's just you and I. But publicly, I don't.
Okay, fair.
But I don't know. I personally don't think there's anything totally weird about the Bermuda Triangle. I think there might be something with like electromagnetic stuff.
Sure.
Because that would explain the compasses and everything. Disappearances are definitely weird. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something funky going on, but I don't
necessarily think
necessarily believe it. Especially the aliens. That's my little rant about aliens, right? I definitely 100% believe that there's life outside of us.
Sure.
Because they found hundreds of different like solar systems, most of which are home to planets like Earth.
Sure.
Like Earth-like, they say. And so, like, yeah, I 100% believe that aliens exist. Have they visited us? I don't know. I personally don't think so. That's another thing where it's like, I don't believe it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Oh my gosh. I actually saw a theory about that the other day. And it was something that like I never even considered. Hold on, let me just make sure I get the date correct for this.
Okay.
Okay, so think about this. Eyeglasses were not invented until the 13th century.
Okay.
However, people have had bad vision longer than that. Like, obviously, they had to have been invented for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so what if all of these, like, alien sightings were just people with, like, bad vision who'd never...
Maybe.
They were just like, oh, it's Uncle Ted, and I accidentally saw him in the nude. It was an alien! Because, like...
I mean, maybe.
It's a really... Like, I have really bad vision, and if I don't have my contacts or glasses, it is really hard to make out some things, like, even across the room.
Mm-hmm.
Without help, you know? And so... Maybe they just saw something. Maybe they walked in on Uncle Charlie having an affair, and he's like, oh no, that wasn't me sleeping with some random lady. That was an alien. And then they're like, oh, okay. Or,
Okay.
or someone was really hairy, and they were like, I don't know who you are. You must be Bigfoot.
That makes sense.
That was basically it. All of my examples, though, were like Uncle something. And I'm like, I need
Uncle
to quit.
Ted or Uncle Charlie.
I need to quit throwing in people's uncles.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't believe that they've visited us, but it's, again, one of those things, like, it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't believe they have. Because if you think about it, I mean, it's possible, because how we see aliens, they're, like, hundreds of years, thousands of years more advanced than
us,
more advanced than we are. But, like, if you think about it, if that's the case, there should also be aliens that are, like, the same amount of time behind us.
Interesting thought.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was part of my rant. Where was I going with it? I don't know. If you think about it, like, the closest habitable planets are, like, millions of light years away.
Sure.
So, either these people have been traveling for a really long time, or they've found out some way to travel faster than light, like thousands times faster than the speed of light.
You know, sure.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, we're trying to do space exploration.
Uh-huh.
I mean, SpaceX is trying to freaking inhabit Mars.
Yeah.
And colonize it.
Why wouldn't you?
So it's like, you know, there are probably other people out there, but, like, I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think aliens out there are going to be that hostile towards us. I'm sure there's something like we are, however advanced or non-advanced they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my little alien rant.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have much to comment on that because I don't really have many opinions.
Okay, that's fair.
Towards it. You're just smarter than me.
I don't know about smarter. I think space fascinates me.
I know.
Yeah.
I got you that shirt, remember?
Yeah,
or no, Sydney got you that shirt. I just picked it out.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Back in my day, there were 9 planets.
Oh, yeah. Because you're old.
Because I'm old.
All right.
Did you hear about Pluto?
That's messed up. Awesome. Well,
anyway, thanks for listening to my rant about aliens and conspiracies.
Yeah. Oh, love it. I can sit and listen to you rant about those things all day.
There's also the government conspiracy where it's like everything's just government planned.
And hidden by the government.
The Illuminati. They planned everything from behind the scenes.
I could believe the Germans being involved and then just not wanting to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, no, we're on good terms. We don't need to dig up the past. Literally, because there's ships hidden in our backyard with military bomber planes.
We're still using that manganese ore no, we're not. Just kidding. I didn't even know what they would use manganese ore for. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm no
Alright.
chemist. I'm no geologist.
That's okay. You're a ginger. And
I
that's
just
all
sit
that
at a desk all
matters.
day.
All right. Well, if you guys want to have us share some of your fascinating stories, please send them in to famdamilypodcast@gmail.com.
And keep an eye out for our upcoming TikTok videos and others and Instagram and other social media platforms
yeah,
on which we are.
gonna be
Which I think it's just Instagram and TikTok right now, but
and Facebook.
oh,
Surprise! We have a Facebook page.
oh, I didn't know that.
Myles.
We have a Facebook page.
There's nothing on it yet.
Yeah,
That's
we'll get
okay.
there.
All right, you guys. Well, we will quit rambling into your ear. Drive safe. Hopefully, you get to your destination safely, because I'm assuming most of you guys are listening to this in the car
Probably safe to assume.
or on the back of a kangaroo, because
Australia, right? Okay.
all right, toodles.